Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into one of the most fundamental human challenges, really. A tension that quietly shapes our decisions every single day, whether we even realize it or not.
Yeah, it's always there.
It's that intricate dance between what we aspire to achieve, what we dream of our grandest ideals, and the gritty, undeniable realities that surround us.
Exactly, the stuff we bump up against constantly.
So how do we hold on to our vision without becoming, well, impractical? And how do we navigate the real world without losing that sense of purpose?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
This deep dive is basically your shortcut to understanding that crucial balance, that dynamic interplay that can truly make or break your personal projects, strengthen relationships, and ultimately kind of determine the trajectory of your biggest aspirations.
That's right. And what's truly fascinating here is how clearly history just lays it all out for us. It illustrates the profound consequences of leaning too far into either extreme idealism or realism.
Right. We're not just talking abstract concepts.
No, not at all. We're witnessing how this imbalance has shaped, the rise and fall of actual civilizations, launched groundbreaking innovations, and also stalled countless personal endeavors. These aren't just like dry historical events you read about in a textbook. They are powerful, often brutal lessons that hold a mirror right up to our own daily struggles.
Yeah.
We all harbor ideals, right? Whether it's the perfect career, a harmonious family life, or maybe a world-changing invention.
Yeah, everyone has something.
And we all live in a reality of, well, limited resources, conflicting priorities, unexpected obstacles popping up all the time.
Always.
So the perennial question, the one we keep coming back to, is how do we constructively bring these two really powerful forces together? How do we make them dance instead of fight?
Okay, so let's unpack this with some powerful examples. And sometimes, yeah, pretty sobering historical examples.
Great idea.
First, let's imagine what happens when idealism, pure, unadulterated idealism, just runs wild without any grounding in reality. It sounds noble, right?
Right.
Even revolutionary sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Very appealing on the surface.
But the outcomes can be catastrophic. So our first case, the catastrophe of idealism without realism. We're looking at China's Cultural Revolution, which erupted in the late 1960s.
Right. A huge historical moment.
At its heart, it was driven by this incredibly powerful, almost utopian ideal to purge traditional elements from Chinese society and create a pure, classless, egalitarian society. Think about that vision, a world free of old traditions, old culture, old habits, old ideas, where everyone was equal, working selflessly towards this shared communist utopia.
It sounds transformative.
It was meant to be truly transformative, a radical leap forward for humanity. That was the pitch anyway.
And that's precisely where the profound danger lies, you see. What's critical to understand about that period is how this grand, compelling vision, however well-intentioned it might have seemed on paper, it utterly ignored the fundamental realities of human behavior, economics, the inherent complexities of social structures. Just completely bypassed them.
So it wasn't just about changing rules. It was expecting human nature itself to change overnight.
Pretty much. It presupposed this fundamental, almost instant change in human nature, this belief that people could just shed millennia of tradition, individual ambition, social stratification, like taking off a coat.
Wow.
It bypassed all the messy, intricate details of how societies actually function, how individuals interact, the deeply ingrained psychological patterns that govern us.
So how did it play out on the ground?
Well, Mao Zedong, driven by this revolutionary zeal, called upon students and workers, the Red Guards, to challenge authority and dismantle these four old ideas, culture, customs, habits.
Okay.
But the methods were largely destructive. Mass movements, public denunciations, coercion, not gradual reform or realistic policy. It was about tearing down fast.
And the consequences.
Devastating. Just devastating. This idealism, totally unchecked by realism, led to widespread chaos, intense persecution of millions of intellectuals, landlords, anyone deemed counter-revolutionary. Yeah. Education systems completely shut down for years.
Yeah.
Cultural heritage sites destroyed, ancient artifacts shattered, countless lives were disrupted, ruined, or just violently ended.
It's chilling.
It's a stark, chilling lesson. Ideals, however noble, however inspiring they sound in theory, they quickly become nightmares without a critical grounding in reality.
It really forces you to think.
It does. It forces each of us to consider, where might our own grand visions, our pure ideals for our careers, our families, our communities, where might they currently lack a necessary reality check?
Hmm.
What are the human, economic, logistical, or psychological factors we might be overlooking in our own pursuit of perfection? Are we genuinely building something, or are we maybe just blindly tearing things down without a viable blueprint for what comes next?
That's a powerful reminder. The road to hell paved with good intentions, as they say, especially when reality gets ignored. The cost is just immense.
Truly immense.
But what about the other side of that pendulum? What happens when you have plenty of realism, maybe too much, but it's completely devoid of any guiding idealism?
Right, the opposite imbalance.
Our second case shows that slow internal decay that sets in when realism without idealism takes hold. Let's pivot to the centuries-long, often agonizing decline of the Roman Empire.
Ah, Rome, a classic example.
Yeah, and this wasn't a sudden collapse like one battle lost. It was a long, drawn-out process. Internal erosion.
Slow burn.
In its later years, especially during that protracted decline, Roman leaders and institutions became pragmatic almost to the point of cynicism.
Yeah, just managing decline, essentially.
They were constantly reacting to immediate threats, barbarian incursions, internal rebellions, economic crises, making these short-term reactive decisions, just putting out fires, not really envisioning a thriving future.
Exactly. And the realism here wasn't about smart, strategic, long-term planning, It wasn't a deep understanding of evolving challenges or a commitment to enduring principles.
What was it then?
Instead, it devolved into this relentless focus on short-term survival and expediency, often at any cost. Just get through today.
Like what specifically?
Well, we saw the debasement of coinage, adding less valuable metals to fund constant wars and pay this increasingly unreliable mercenary army, which, of course, led to rampant inflation that crippled the economy.
Cutting corners.
Cutting corners everywhere. Vital areas like infrastructure maintenance, the training of its own legions, it all weakened the empire from within.
Though critically.
Most critically, there was this gradual, almost imperceptible abandonment of the very lofty ideals that had initially unified and empowered the empire.
Like civic duty, justice.
Exactly. Civic duty, justice for Roman citizens, the pursuit of engineering marvels, that shared vision of Roman glory. These were the foundational principles that gave Roman life meaning beyond just, surviving another day.
And without
Without that guiding vision, without a higher purpose to strive for, realism just devolved into mere short-term survivalism. The focus became entirely transactional.
Transactional. How so?
On maintaining power, stability, control today, often totally at the expense of tomorrow. The political landscape became this revolving door of emperors, many ruling for just a few years before being assassinated or deposed.
Chaos at the top.
Total instability. Trust in institutions is just evaporated. Why pay taxes if the government's corrupt and ineffective? Why serve in the legions if there's no grand vision to fight for anymore?
It sounds like a downward spiral.
It was. This purely pragmatic, often self-serving approach left the empire unable to adapt to larger systemic challenges, like those barbarian migrations, climate change impacting agriculture, the rise of new economic centers.
They couldn't see the forest for the trees.
Pretty much. Ultimately, it led to internal decay, widespread corruption, a loss of shared identity, and inability to inspire its citizens, culminating in its eventual collapse.
Wow.
It raises a really important question for us all, doesn't it? What happens when our focus becomes purely pragmatic, when we only see what is and not what could be? When do we stop building and just start managing decline, slowly losing the very essence of what gives our efforts meaning?
That's a truly unsettling vision. It's so easy to get caught in the daily grind, just putting out fires, and slowly lose sight of those ideals that once inspired us.
It happens subtly.
Thinking about the long-term impact of losing that higher purpose. It's like a slow poison, isn't it?
It really is.
But thankfully, there's a much more uplifting side to this discussion.
Good. Let's hear it.
Showing the transformative power when both elements, idealism and realism, are present and working together. In synergy.
Okay.
Our third case, the synergy of idealism creating innovation, exemplified by none other than Henry Ford and the automobile.
Ford, right.
Ford famously said, and I love this quote, "If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses."
Chuckles. Yeah, that's a great line.
Think about that for a second. People were completely bound by the reality they knew. They just couldn't conceive of a radical alternative to horse-drawn transportation.
Their frame of reference was totally limited. Just improve what exists.
Exactly.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though, and where the true power of this balance really shines. Ford's idealism allowed him to imagine something radically different.
The automobile.
The automobile, yeah. But not just as a luxury toy for the rich, which it kind of was initially.
Right.
His vision was a practical machine for the masses. He wasn't constrained by the existing paradigm of horses and buggies. He envisioned a complete shift in personal transportation, a democratized freedom of movement.
That was his ideal.
That was his North Star, his grand ideal. It was audacious. People probably thought he was nuts, ridiculed by many at the time.
And this is the key part.
But crucially, he didn't stop at the dream. This is the absolute key to understanding successful innovation, I think. His idealism provided the audacious vision, the what if. But it was his realism that made it a tangible, world-changing product.
How so? What did the realism look like?
He meticulously studied production processes. He pioneered the moving assembly line, a revolutionary concept that dramatically reduced manufacturing time and cost, made it efficient.
The famous assembly line.
Yeah. He organized incredibly complex supply chains, ensuring raw materials and parts arrived efficiently. He worked tirelessly with real-world constraints, materials science, engineering challenges, the economics of scale,
And affordability.
and the need to make the product affordable for the average worker. He even paid his workers enough so they could afford the very cars they were building. Talk about integrated thinking.
Wow, that's realism meeting idealism right there.
Absolutely. Idealism provided the direction, the ultimate destination, but realism provided the practical, step-by-step map and the means to actually get there, systematically turning an impossible dream into an accessible reality that literally transformed society.
So what does this all mean for us here and now listening to this?
Yeah, bringing it home.
The core thesis of this deep dive seems incredibly clear. Idealism without realism is blind. It dreams without seeing the ground, leading to castles in the air, or worse, like we saw with the Cultural Revolution, catastrophes.
Right. Totally ungrounded.
Realism without idealism is empty. It sees the ground, knows all the facts, but has nowhere meaningful to go, leading to stagnation or that slow decay like Rome.
Just managing, not building.
But together, in this dynamic, conscious partnership, they can change your world, and indeed, the world.
That's the potential power.
And that, my friends, is our mission today, to explore how you can achieve this powerful synergy in your own life, in your daily projects, in your most ambitious work, helping you navigate that fundamental tension between what you deeply want to achieve and the complex, often challenging world you actually live in.
Yeah, finding that sweet spot.
So let's frame the central dilemma directly for you, the listener. Realists, as we've seen, tend to see the world exactly as it is. They focus on the facts, the data, current limitations, the obstacles right in front of them.
Very grounded, maybe too grounded sometimes.
Idealists, on the other hand, envision the world as it could be, unbound by present constraints, full of possibility, driven by aspiration.
Eyes on the prize, head in the clouds, maybe.
Chuckles.
Maybe. So here's the big question that many of us grapple with. Do you have to choose? Do you have to be one or the other? A realist box or an idealist box?
Yeah, is it either?
Or can you actually embody both perspectives simultaneously? On the surface, it feels like a genuine contradiction, doesn't it? Like trying to drive forward while constantly looking in the rearview mirror.
It absolutely does feel that way at first glance. These two perspectives, realism and idealism, they seem to clash fundamentally, don't they?
Yeah, oil and water.
One pulls you towards what's practical, achievable, sometimes even mundane now. The other beckons you towards what's inspiring, visionary, often quite distant, the future.
A real tug of war.
It feels like a zero-sum game where embracing one means abandoning the other. It creates this constant internal battle.
But in reality, if we truly examine the most impactful leaders, the most enduring movements, the most successful innovations throughout history, we find this consistent and compelling pattern.
Which is?
The most impactful leaders, the ones who truly moved mountains, were always both.
Both realist and idealist.
Yes, they understood the tension, sure. They felt the pull, absolutely. But they didn't let it become a paralyzing choice. They found a way to make these two powerful forces not just coexist, but actually complement each other.
Oh, synergy.
Create a synergy that was greater than the sum of its parts. It really challenges that initial assumption that these are mutually exclusive paths. It invites us to explore how we, too, can embrace this duality.
That's a profound observation. If the most impactful figures manage this, then the big question for us is, how do these seemingly opposing forces not just coexist, but actually become indispensable to each other for meaningful progress?
Right. How does it work in practice?
How do we hold both of these powerful energies at the same time without tearing ourselves apart. Let's use a vivid analogy to illustrate this dynamic synergy. Something easy to visualize. The sailing metaphor.
Ah, yes, the sailing metaphor. I like this one. It perfectly captures the continuous dynamic interplay required.
Okay, set the scene for us.
Imagine your ideal as the destination island. It's that clear, inspiring vision of where you ultimately want to go, that perfect horizon, maybe shimmering in the distance, that defines your ultimate purpose.
Got it. The dream destination.
Without that destination, without that ideal firmly in mind, you're simply adrift. You might be an excellent sailor, great at handling your boat, but you have no purpose, no direction, no reason to even set sail.
Just bobbing around.
Exactly. That ideal provides the North Star for your entire journey, the ultimate purpose that gives all your efforts meaning. It's the why behind everything you do.
Okay, so idealism is the destination. What's realism?
Now, realism in this metaphor is about intimately knowing and continually reading the winds and tides. It's understanding the current conditions of the sea. Is there a storm brewing? Are the currents strong, pushing you off course? What are the immediate obstacles, hitting reefs, shallow waters?
The practical stuff.
The practical stuff. What are your available resources? The integrity of your sails, the responsiveness of your rudder, the strength of your crew, the supplies on board? And critically, what practical immediate steps do you need to take right now to keep moving towards that destination? Or maybe just to stay afloat?
You need both.
Absolutely. Without this realistic assessment, without understanding these conditions, you might have the most beautiful island in mind, but you're going to crash on the rocks, capsize in a storm, or just get lost because you weren't navigating practically.
So good sailors are constantly doing both.
Good sailors are masters of this dynamic balance, constantly adjusting sails, changing course slightly for a headwind, reading the weather minute by minute, all while keeping that ideal, that destination island, firmly in mind.
They don't give up on the island when the wind changes.
Exactly. They don't abandon the ideal when faced with a strong headwind. They adjust their strategy. They tack against the wind, navigating through it. It's this continuous dynamic balance between the long-term vision and the immediate, practical, often challenging actions that defines successful navigation in life, just as at sea.
That's a fantastic way to put it. It's not ignoring the storm, nor is it just letting the currents take you wherever. It's skillful navigation towards a chosen point.
Precisely.
And when we look at real-world examples of integrated leadership, you see this dynamic playing out beautifully. These are people who didn't just dream big, but also understood and often mastered the gritty, sometimes painful details of making those dreams real.
Absolutely. Think of Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay.
Her idealistic dream of racial equality and justice, articulated so powerfully. It was an incredibly high-minded, almost utopian vision for America, right? A nation where people judge by character, not color.
A powerful ideal.
A powerful ideal, miles away from the harsh, brutal reality of segregation and discrimination he experienced daily.
But it wasn't just speeches.
No, not at all. His movement wasn't just built on rhetoric. It was deeply rooted in a keen understanding of the realities of systemic injustice. And his strategy involved highly realistic, meticulously organized, incredibly strategic actions.
Like what?
He understood the legal landscape, the political pressure points, the moral authority and tactical power of nonviolent protest, the absolute necessity of building broad coalitions. His idealism provided the moral compass, the goal.
But the realism.
But his realism meticulously crafted the pathway, step by arduous step. Through boycotts, marches, legislative advocacy, real-world tactics.
That's a great example. Who else?
Similarly, Mahatma Gandhi. His ideal of an independent India, free from British rule, a monumental vision.
Huge.
Yet he realized this through their radical strategy of nonviolent resistance, satyagraha. A strategy that, while seeming passive, was incredibly realistic about the power dynamics.
How was it realistic?
He understood the moral authority it would grant Indians, how it could mobilize a population who couldn't fight militarily, and how it would strategically undermine the British Empire's legitimacy on the world stage by exposing its brutality.
Strategic nonviolence.
It wasn't just a dream, it was a brilliantly executed, reality-grounded plan that ultimately bent the arc of history.
And innovators. Like Ford.
And going back to innovators like Ford, or even modern figures like, say, Elon Musk, they perfectly embody this blend.
How so?
Well, Musk's audacious vision of colonizing Mars seems like pure idealism, right? Almost sci-fi.
Definitely sounds idealistic.
But it's backed by thousands of engineers meticulously working on reusable rocket tech, advanced materials science, scalable manufacturing processes at SpaceX. gritty realism.
Okay.
His dream of a sustainable energy future at Tesla, grounded in overcoming immense engineering hurdles in battery tech production, navigating global supply chains, complex markets.
So some big dreams, practical execution.
They are idealists who are also incredibly grounded realists. They recognize that the biggest dreams require the most rigorous attention to practical detail.
Okay, so the big question for all of us then is, how do we actually practice this in our daily lives? It's one thing to see it in MLK or Ford or Musk.
Right, how do you do it?
How do you, our listener, apply this today, right now, to your own goals, your challenges, your aspirations? We've got a concrete, actionable, well, a 4-step formula, basically.
Yeah, a practical tool.
For integrating idealism and realism into your decision-making. This isn't just abstract theory. It's a repeatable process you can use for any challenge, big or small, personal or professional, to make sure your ideals have a landing strip in reality.
Exactly. This formula is designed to give you a structured way to hold both perspectives simultaneously. So you don't become either a starry-eyed dreamer lost in space or a cynical pragmatist stuck on the ground.
All right, let's break it down. Step 1.
Step 1. Define the ideal. Your North Star. Okay, this is where you allow yourself to be purely idealistic. Pause the constraints, the how questions for a moment.
Just dream.
Just dream, but articulate it clearly. What's your vision, your ultimate goal, that North Star we talked about? What do you really want to achieve? What does success look like in its purest form, even if it feels impossible right now?
Like, revolutionize my industry, build a harmonious family, financial freedom.
Exactly. Don't worry about how just yet. Just articulate that dream with crystal clarity. The purpose here is vital. Clear direction, motivation, a vivid picture of where you're headed. If your North Star is fuzzy, well, everything else gets harder.
Okay, define the ideal, crystal clear. Step 2.
Step 2, reality check. Okay, now swing the pendulum. Bring in your inner realist. This is often the toughest step, but it's crucial.
Asking the hard questions.
Asking the hard, sometimes uncomfortable questions about the current situation. What are the actual obstacles? What resources do you actually have right now? Not wish you had, but tangible skills, budget, network, time.
Constraints too.
Yes, what are the practical constraints? Market conditions, existing commitments, family needs, tech limitations, even your own energy levels. The purpose is to identify the precise gaps between your ideal and your current situation. A brutally honest assessment of the landscape, seeing the world exactly as it is, your starting point.
Got it. Ideal, then reality check. Step 3?
Step 3, bridge plan. This is the beautiful part, the synergy step, where you connect the ideal to the reality. You take all those insights from the reality check, obstacles, resources, constraints, and you develop concrete, actionable, and importantly, small steps.
Small steps.
Small steps that specifically bridge the gap you identified. Manageable, achievable, grounded steps. It's not about achieving the ideal instantly, that's the trap. It's about taking the next logical, feasible step towards it, building momentum.
Like charting the first leg of the sailing trip.
Exactly. Turning, I want to sail to that island, into, okay, check the forecast, pack supplies for the first bit, chart the initial heading for 50 miles, acknowledging the current wind, creating a viable step-by-step pathway, transforming the grand vision into bite-sized actions.
Okay, define ideal, reality check, bridge plan. What's step 4?
Step 4, balance test. Finally, and people often skip this, you critically evaluate your bridge plan, those small steps, against both your ideal and your reality.
How do you do that?
Ask 2 key questions. Does this specific step move me measurably toward my ideal? Your health goal, financial goal, whatever it is. And second, is it realistically attainable right now, given my current constraints?
The reality check on the plan itself.
Precisely. This ensures your plan is neither a futile dream ignoring constraints, nor a cynical abandonment of your goal. It checks if the plan is both aspirational and attainable. It keeps you from veering too far either way, keeping that tension productive and forward-moving. It's a constant recalibration.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's make this super tangible. Maybe a couple of everyday examples, starting with a personal one many of us relate to, achieving a healthier lifestyle.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
It's common, and the ideal reality clash is strong here.
Yeah, we all want it, but life gets in the way, right? We feel overwhelmed or demotivated.
Absolutely. So applying our formula.
Okay, ideal first.
Ideal.
Yeah.
Your North Star might be, I want a healthier, more energetic lifestyle. And get specific. Maybe that means sustained energy all day, no afternoon crashes, better fitness for hiking with kids, less stress, feeling more vibrant. That's the big inspiring picture.
Got it. The vision, Now, reality check.
Reality check. Okay, let's get brutally real. Long work hours, family commitments leave little free time. No way I have time or energy for a 2-hour gym session. Limited budget for fancy organic food. Maybe low motivation from past tries or a nagging injury. The detailed, complex map of now.
That sounds familiar for many. So the bridge plan.
Bridge plan. Based on that reality, a huge change is likely impossible right now. So the bridge plan becomes something much more manageable. A 15-minute evening walk every day, or maybe just start with 2 days a week.
Just 15 minutes.
Just 15 minutes. You're not aiming for a marathon. You intentionally scale down the ideal to fit the reality. This small step is designed to be sustainable, build momentum, fit into your busy life. And it leverages the small wins principle. Achieving it builds confidence. That 15 minutes can become a keystone habit, leading to other good choices.
Okay, and the balance test.
Balance test. Ask, does a 15-minute walk move me toward my ideal of a healthier lifestyle? Yes, definitely. It's activity, stress reduction, fresh air, habit building. Is it realistic now? Yes, 15 minutes is likely something you can carve out. This test ensures the plan isn't futile or cynical. It keeps you moving forward realistically toward your ideal.
That's a perfect demonstration. It's not about giant leaps, but intelligent, sustainable progress. What about a professional example? Say your ideal is to launch a revolutionary new product feature at work.
Excellent. This is where the formula shines professionally, too.
Okay, ideal.
Ideal. North Star. Launch a new product feature that provides a revolutionary user experience and captures significant market share. You envision this amazing interface, solving core problems elegantly, setting a new standard.
The big dream for the product. Reality check.
Reality check. The brutal truth. Limited development budget, small, overcommitted engineering team, stuck with old legacy code, tight deadline for a conference, plus maybe a competitor just released something similar, though maybe not as good. These are your real constraints.
Okay, messy reality. Bridge plan.
Bridge plan. You can't build the entire revolutionary vision right now. So the bridge plan is develop a minimum viable product, MVP. Focus only on core functionality delivering the most value. Use existing frameworks to speed things up. Plan for iterative releases later based on user feedback. Scale down the ideal to fit capacity and speed.
Makes sense. Balance test.
Balance test. Does this MVP move us toward a revolutionary experience? Yes, it addresses the core problem, gets value to users, gathers data. Is it realistic now, given budget, team, deadline? Yes, an MVP is achievable. You hit the conference, learn from the market. You're not abandoning the ideal, just being realistic about the path, step by step.
That's incredibly helpful. Same principles, personal or professional. But here's the thing. Most significant ideals involve other people. Right?
Almost always.
You can't achieve your North Star in a vacuum. Family goals, team projects, company visions. Other people are always involved, often with their own ideals, realities, priorities.
It gets complicated fast.
Yeah. So how do we navigate that complex human element? This is where understanding your stakeholders becomes crucial, I guess.
Indeed. Realizing your ideals often requires buy-in, collaboration, or at least understanding from others. People bring different perspectives, enthusiasm levels, and power to help or hinder.
We don't get that right.
You can waste enormous energy fighting battles that don't matter or missing chances to gain powerful allies. This is where stakeholder mapping is incredibly powerful. We can use a simple matrix. Influence versus support.
Okay, influence versus support. Explain those.
Influence. Basically, the power someone has to significantly affect your ideal or plan. Do they control budget, make key decisions, have a persuasive voice, formal authority, or informal sway?
Got it. Their clout and support.
Support. Their level of enthusiasm or resistance towards your ideal? Are they cheering you on, neutral, or actively working against you, subtly or overtly?
Okay, influence and support. How does the matrix work?
When you plot people on this matrix, you get 4 key categories, each needing a different approach.
Category 1.
Champions. High influence, high support. These are your invaluable allies. They believe in your ideal, they're excited, and crucially, they have the power to help drive it forward.
What do you do with champions?
Empower them, collaborate closely, leverage their influence and enthusiasm, give them tools, info, recognition. They can be your internal evangelists.
Makes sense. Category 2.
Blockers, high influence, low support. These are the tough ones. They can actively hinder or stop you. They have power but are unsupportive, resistant, maybe see your ideal as a threat.
Uh-oh. What's the strategy here?
Strategic engagement. Understand their concerns, address their objections, maybe find common ground that aligns with their self-interest, or find ways to mitigate their influence. Negotiation might be key here.
Tricky. Okay, category 3.
Helpers. Low influence, high support. These people are enthusiastic and supportive, but lack the formal power to make big moves alone. Think of them as your cheerleaders, your foot soldiers.
What's the plan for helpers?
Keep them informed. Nurture their positive energy. Leverage their smaller contributions or their ability to spread positive vibes and build informal support. They're great for morale.
Good point. And the last category.
Distractors. Low influence, low support. These folks are unsupportive and lack significant power to really hurt your progress. Their negativity can be draining, though.
So what do? Ignore them.
Often, yes. Minimize engagement. Don't let their cynicism sidetrack you or drain your limited energy. Focus your resources where they make the biggest strategic impact on champions and blockers mostly.
Okay, let's apply this stakeholder mapping. Another relatable example. Shifting to healthier eating at home. That definitely involves stakeholders.
Exactly. Perfect case. So for a household aiming for healthier eating,
Who's a champion?
your champion might be a partner who shares the goal, is keen on new recipes, willing to co-lead meal planning, or maybe an older kid excited about getting fitter for sports. High influence within the home, high support.
And a blocker?
Your blocker could be a child who throws tantrums about new foods, emotional leverage counts as influence, or a partner who prefers takeout every night and controls the grocery budget, financial influence.
Right.
High influence, low support. They can really derail things.
Helpers.
Helpers might be a friend who shares great recipes or supportive relatives who bring healthy dishes when visiting. Low direct influence on daily meals, but high support. They offer encouragement and resources.
And distractors.
Distractors could be that coworker always bringing donuts or just constant fast food ads. Tempting, maybe, but low direct influence on your family's dinner decisions.
I got it.
So the crucial lesson is, don't fight everyone, equally focus your energy where it matters most. You spend more time strategizing with or around the blocker partner child than arguing with the donut-bringing coworker, right? Smart energy allocation based on influence and support.
That makes so much sense. It's strategic thinking applied to people. And once you know who's who, once you've mapped them out, the real challenge is often convincing them, right? Or finding common ground, especially with those blockers or maybe even lukewarm champions.
Exactly. That's where negotiation comes in.
Which sounds formal, but you're saying it applies everywhere.
Absolutely. Negotiation isn't just for boardrooms or treaties. It's a vital life skill. Discussing chores with kids, project timelines with your boss, deciding on dinner with your partner. It's crucial for moving an ideal forward when others are involved.
Okay, how do we approach negotiation effectively?
It's fundamentally about finding a path forward that incorporates multiple perspectives, creates mutual benefit if possible. We can break it down into a powerful framework, the 5 Ps of negotiation.
The 5 Ps. Okay, what's the first P?
1. Purpose. Before you even start talking, get crystal clear on why you're negotiating. What's your underlying ideal? For the family diet, the purpose isn't just no more sugar, it's a healthier, more energetic family, your North Star for the negotiation.
Why is that so important?
It keeps you focused, gives you your anchor, prevents getting sidetracked by superficial arguments. You don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Okay, purpose. Second P.
2. Position. Understand your stance on the specific issue, but equally important, understand their stated stance. What are your non-negotiables, your ideal outcomes, and what are their stated demands, objections, desires? What do they say they want?
Like, I want home cooking 5 nights versus I want fast food every night.
Exactly. Knowing both positions helps you anticipate reactions and prepare arguments. No surprises.
Got it. Purpose. Position. Third P.
3. Proof. Gather your evidence. Compelling data, relevant examples, logical arguments to support your position and explain your part of purpose. Why is your ideal good? Why is your proposal reasonable?
For the diet example.
Proof could be nutrition facts, personal stories of feeling better, shared family health goals, maybe even showing how much money takeout is costing. It adds credibility, makes your ideal more compelling than just a whim, grounds it in reality.
Okay, purpose, position, proof. Fourth P.
4. Pressure points. This one's nuanced, maybe the most powerful P. Identify what truly motivates the other party. What are their deeper interests, fears, unstated concerns, desired outcomes beneath their stated position?
It's not always what they say.
Rarely just about what they say. What's underneath? For a child, the pressure point might be energy for play or taste, not unhealthy food. For a partner, maybe saving money, supporting shared goals, or their own health benefits.
So you find their why.
Yes. Identifying these lets you frame your ideal in a way that addresses their concerns or aligns with their self-interest, makes them much more receptive.
Smart. Purpose, position, proof, pressure points. What's the final
Okay.
P?
5, path forward. Okay, based on all that your purpose, both positions, proof, their pressure points, now you propose concrete, actionable, mutually agreeable steps or solutions.
It's not about winning.
Not about winning, losing. It's about finding a bridge between different realities and desires that moves everyone forward. It shifts the conversation from debate to collaboration, implementation. What small steps can you both take? What compromises still honor your core ideal?
Okay, let's quickly revisit the healthy eating example and apply these 5 Ps to negotiating that family diet change.
Oh,
Seems like a good test case.
indeed. It really highlights how this works even in personal settings.
Okay, purpose.
Purpose. The ideal of a healthier, more vibrant family. Better well-being, more energy for everyone. The long-term why.
Position.
Position. Your desire for balanced meals, less processed food, more fruits, veg. Their position could be the child demanding sugary snacks, the teen insisting on fast food, the partner preferring takeout due to fatigue or taste preference. Proof. Nutrition science, feeling better anecdotes, shared health goals like being active together, maybe even the rising cost of takeout.
Pressure points.
Pressure points. For the child, superhero energy. For play, maybe a treat day system. For the teen, better skin, sports energy, maybe allowance for helping cook. For the partner, saving money, shared goals, quality family time, maybe you offer to cook more specific days. Connect your ideal to their interests.
And the path forward.
Path forward. Concrete solutions. Maybe. Gradual intro of one new healthy meal a week. Designate treat days. Share cooking duties. Find healthy versions of favorite dishes, homemade pizza versus delivery. And remember, negotiation can be with kids, a partner, and even yourself. Negotiating with your own desire for instant gratification. This structured approach finds common ground, builds sustainable change.
Wow, that's incredibly practical. Applicable everywhere, really.
Mm-hmm.
Personal goals, team projects, family stuff. Helps you move forward purposefully.
Absolutely. And that's the essence of this whole deep dive, isn't it? This crucial balance. It comes down to this. Realism keeps you grounded. Feet on the earth, seeing the landscape, the obstacles, opportunities as they are.
Right.
Idealism keeps you inspired, lifts your gaze to the horizon, reminds you of the purpose, the possibility, defines that destination.
And together.
Together, they don't just create change, they create sustainable change. Change that endures, grows, transforms, precisely because it's both visionary and practical. It's not about choosing one. It's about that dynamic, conscious, continuous integration of both forces.
So as you, our listener, go about your day, your week, your next project, even your next conversation, we want to challenge you with 2 powerful, actionable questions from today. First, what's your North Star? What's that clear, inspiring ideal motivating you in a specific area? Define it clearly.
Specific.
And second, what's one realistic, measurable step you can take today? Just one small, practical action aligned with that North Star, acknowledging your current reality that you know you can accomplish.
Just one step.
It's just one.
And as you ponder those, maybe consider this too. How much untapped potential lies in your own grandest ideals? Those visions you might have dismissed as too ambitious or unrealistic.
Yeah?
They might simply be waiting for a grounded, realistic plan to bring them to life. What small, practical adjustments could transform your biggest dreams from distant fantasies into achievable realities? It's often not the size of the dream holding us back, but the lack of a thoughtful, reality-checked path to get there.
A truly profound thought to mull over as you navigate your own balance. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into balancing your ideals with reality.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
We really hope these insights help you build those crucial bridges between what is and what could be. Until next time.